Hi, I'm Dr. Shishira, Dermatologist at Evoluer Aesthetics and Plastic Surgery, Hyderabad. Let's decode dandruff today. Dandruff is basically one of the commonest scalp condition wherein someone who has a very oily, greasy scalp with lots of itching, lots of flakiness, I mean to say the white powdery flakiness that comes out of your scalp, that is what is dandruff. Say suppose you are a person who is getting lot of tiny white powders on your shoulders, then that's not dandruff, that's the dry scalp condition. So how do you know, do you have a dandruff or a dry scalp? Patients with dandruff will have very greasy oily scalp and very oily face too, and they'll have lot of acne attacks, especially over the forehead, over the cheeks, lot of greasy oily feeling on the face, and lot of back acne, especially on the upper back, lot of acne over the chest. And when you have the itching sensation, when you touch your scalp, you'll have a very sticky whitish scales, we call it as flaking. Similarly, the same itching sensation you might have on your eyebrows, on your mustache, as well as on your beard. This is the total entity of the dandruff. Whereas the dry scalp is also itchy. The whole scalp is always dry. You will have a tiny white flakes coming out of these dry scalp. None of the acne attacks, none of the oily face, none of these will be there in cases of dry scalp. So what happens with respect to dandruff is, all of our scalp has a good fungus which is called as Malassezia furfur. This is actually a good fungus which stays on our scalp. What happens in case of a very oily secretion from our scalp, very greasy, along with a lot of pollution, you're not washing your hair properly, you're not maintaining the scalp hygiene, this good fungus converts into bad fungus. So this bad fungus will cause lot of inflammation, lot of flakiness, dryness. That's because the excess oil condition is a very good nutrition for this fungus. So when the fungal growth increases, that is when the dandruff becomes more scaly, more itchy, and that greasy feeling. So what to do for a dandruff condition? First of all, meet your dermatologist. Based on the severity, you can decide. Say suppose you have the typical dandruff symptoms and signs, but it's a milder grade, seek for an anti-dandruff shampoo. Look for these ingredients which has an anti-dandruff shampoo. Say for example, ketoconazole, zinc pyrithione, cyclopyrox, pyroxetone olamine, selenium sulfide. Sometimes on doctor's prescription there will also be a shampoo containing coal tar, wherein you have a very thick flakes. To remove it, coal tar will help you out. And then in case even with these shampoos it's not getting controlled, it's becoming more bad, then you are having lot of red rashes which are very painful while combing, then that means the dandruff is being converted into a more severe form which we call it as seborrheic dermatitis. That is when you really have to consult your dermatologist, because you require a stronger form of anti-dandruff treatment, including the solutions, including the shampoos, and also oral medications. How to use the anti-dandruff shampoo? Make sure you dilute it every time. 1:3 ratio. If you take 1 teaspoon of shampoo, 3 teaspoons of water, mix it nicely, wet your scalp hair as well as your hair strands. Apply the anti-dandruff shampoo only to the scalp, because the dandruff is the scalp condition, not the hair condition. And most of the anti-dandruff shampoo will cause lot of dryness and frizziness to the hair. So when you apply it, leave it for 5 to 10 minutes so that it acts on the scalp and remove all the flakes. And apply the conditioner to your hair strands only. This is how you use your anti-dandruff shampoo. So now the question is, should I use it every day or should I use it every alternate day? There's nothing wrong in using the anti-dandruff shampoo every day, provided it's very oily scalp, very greasy. No matter how many times you wash, it's becoming oily day by day, then there's no harm in using anti-dandruff shampoo every day, but it has to be only to the scalp. Use the hydration shampoo to your hair strand. One more important thing is hair oiling. Remember, in case of dandruff, hair oiling, it's going to worsen your dandruff. Moreover, the hair oil doesn't help you remove your dandruff, doesn't help for the hair growth too. Hair oils are just for conditioning effect. So you can still apply oil only for the hair strands, not for the scalp. If you are a person who has a dry scalp, hair oiling will help. But if you are a person who has dandruff with an oily scalp, do avoid the oiling completely to the scalp. But you can apply it to the hair 1 hour before your hair wash and then go for the hair wash. Now what about the home remedies? There are a lot of people out there who mix curd, lemon juice, or even the tomato juice or fenugreek seeds soaked overnight and then grinding it, applying it as a paste, thinking that it's going to cure your dandruff. None of them are going to help. None of these are going to remove this dandruff. As I already told, it's a typical fungal infection that's happening there. All of these just going to help you condition your hair strands but doesn't remove any of the dandruff. So don't waste your time, money and energy on any of the home remedies. Always seek your dermatologist and go ahead with the proper treatment to remove your dandruff. Now when it comes to dry scalp, it's completely different from dandruff. This dry scalp condition becomes more worsen if you start taking bath in a very hot water every day, using lot of hot tools on your hair strands, lot of air exposure, pollution exposure. These conditions will worsen your dry scalp. If you are thinking your dry scalp condition as a dandruff and if you are using anti-dandruff shampoo, that's another cause to make it worsen. Dry scalp people will require a good oiling. You can nicely put a coconut oil or almond oil, jojoba oil, olive oil, all of these are good, but just for the conditioning to soothe your dry scalp to become a little moisture. Just apply it to your hair strands just 1 hour before your hair wash and then go ahead with hair wash. So now remember, dry scalp will not require an anti-dandruff shampoo. You have to seek into any of the hydrating shampoos which has glycerin, aloe vera, argan oil, olive oil, jojoba oil, grapeseed extracts, flaxseed extracts. Any of these constituents is going to give you a good hydration. The same rule applies even here. Just make your hair wet, dilute your shampoo, apply it nicely and nicely rinse it off. And always, dry scalp patients will have a very dry frizzy hairs. Never forget to use your conditioners to your hair strands.